A brief exchange between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is now going viral after a professional lip reader claimed to have decoded what the two leaders quietly discussed at Senator Lindsey Graham's funeral. The two leaders met during the memorial service on July 28th, where cameras captured them whispering to each other before shaking hands and going their separate ways. According to lip reader Nicola Hickling, Zelenskyy appeared frustrated as he spoke to Netanyahu. Hickling claims Zelenskyy said, "We have a condition and they have broken it. I should have done it myself. It's been a disaster. We're out. We need to be free. I've had enough." As Zelenskyy continued speaking, his expression appeared tense before Netanyahu responded with animated hand gestures. Zelenskyy then nodded, appeared to say a few more words, and moments later, both leaders smiled before shaking hands. It's important to note, neither Zelenskyy nor Netanyahu has confirmed what was actually said, and lip-reading interpretations cannot be independently verified. Even so, the alleged exchange has fueled fresh speculation about the relationship between the two leaders, which has reportedly cooled in recent years. Zelenskyy has recently accused Russia of supplying Iran with satellite imagery of U.S. military bases in the Persian Gulf, while continuing to receive Iranian-made short-range ballistic missiles for its war in Ukraine. According to reports, Ukraine also struck at least one Iranian vessel in the Caspian Sea just a day before the funeral. Against that backdrop, every interaction between Kiev and Jerusalem is now being closely watched. The timing is significant because Zelenskyy and Netanyahu have not met in person since September 2023 and have not spoken by phone since January 2025, despite the growing overlap between the wars involving Ukraine, Russia, and Iran. Whether the conversation was diplomatic, tense, or something entirely different remains unknown. But after the lip-reading claims surfaced, the brief whisper between the two leaders quickly became one of the most talked-about moments from Lindsey Graham's funeral. That wasn't the only private exchange cameras captured that day. Another conversation from the same funeral is also making headlines after the same professional lip reader claimed to have decoded a quiet discussion between U.S. President Donald Trump and his Vice President J.D. Vance during Senator Lindsey Graham's funeral is grabbing eyeballs after a professional lip reader claimed the pair were privately gossiping about another attendee. The viral moment unfolded as the two Republican leaders sat side by side during the memorial service. Here's what the lip reader claims they said. The funeral for longtime Republican Senator Lindsey Graham brought together some of the biggest names in American politics: U.S. President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, members of Congress, administration officials, and longtime friends gathered to pay tribute to Graham, who died on July 11th after suffering sudden cardiac arrests believed to have been caused by an aortic tear. He was 71 years old. The solemn ceremony focused on Graham's decades-long political career and his influence within the Republican Party. But despite the emotional tributes, it was a brief exchange between Trump and Vance that soon stole attention. Video shows Trump leaning toward his VP, J.D. Vance, as the pair quietly speak to one another during the service. Because no audio from the exchange is available, the clip immediately fueled speculation. That speculation intensified after professional lip reader Nicola Hickling analyzed the footage for the Mirror US. According to Hickling, Trump allegedly opened the conversation by saying, "I wonder what's going on with him." Vance is then said to have replied, "I don't know, Don." Trump allegedly continued, "Well, you saw him crying, right?" Hickling claims Vance responded, "I did actually, it's because she's bossy." The alleged exchange reportedly continued. Trump is said to have asked, "Hey, no, is she?" According to Hickling, Vance replied, "Oh yeah, I think it's their attitude. I think he has a bad attitude." Trump then appeared to nod as the conversation ended. It's important to emphasize that these remarks have not been independently verified. Lip reading is interpretive rather than definitive, and neither the White House nor Vice President Vance's office has commented on the alleged conversation. It also remains completely unclear who the two politicians may have been referring to, if the interpretation is accurate. Still, that uncertainty hasn't stopped the clip from spreading rapidly across social media, where users have been trying to identify the mystery individual mentioned in the alleged exchange. Many online have debated whether Trump and Vance were talking about another politician, a family member of Graham, or someone else attending the service. But at this point, there is no evidence identifying the subject of the conversation. The whispered exchange wasn't the only moment from the funeral to generate headlines. Earlier during the service, another video circulated online appearing to show Trump briefly closing his eyes and nodding forward while seated. Critics suggested the president appeared to doze off. That moment, combined with the lip reader's claims, quickly made Trump's appearance at the funeral one of the day's biggest online talking points. Before the viral moments unfolded, Trump delivered one of the funeral's most prominent tributes.
Vice President Vance, members of the Cabinet, members of the House and Senate, distinguished guests, Darlene, and the entire Graham family. We love you all. Today we gather in the deepest gratitude and profoundest sorrow to honor a beloved friend, a devoted brother, a respected statesman, a giant of the United States Senate, and a true American original who left us much too soon. And that can only be the one and only Lindsey Graham. By the strength of his steadfast convictions, the force of his magnetic personality, and the goodness of his noble soul, Lindsey rose from a small town in rural South Carolina, a place he loved so much, to become a constant fixture of American politics at the highest level, and a force to be reckoned with all over the world. For more than 30 years, nothing of consequence happened in this capital without Lindsey Graham knowing about it. Nothing of significance happened anywhere in the world without Lindsey Graham having a view on it. And no bill became law in the most exceptional republic in human history without Lindsey Graham having a say in it. He was a man who gave America the full measure of his good and mighty heart until that heart itself just gave out. But even though Lindsey's life was cut short while he was still so full of vim and vigor, there can be no doubt that he lived absolutely to the fullest. He died doing the work he was born to do. He was truly a great politician, serving the country he loved to serve so deeply. He went out at the peak of his career, at the top of his game, as a legend that everyone of us, many of us here today, blessed to know him, and a friend that none of us will ever forget. There was truly nobody like Lindsey Graham. It was his hometown of Central South Carolina, that Lindsey first learned the art of politics. His parents ran a bar and pool hall on Main Street with a room in the back where the family spent. And as Lindsey said, his father taught him the key to being a successful bar owner is that you have to be funny enough that people will keep coming back, and that you have to be tough enough that you can stay in business and thrive. A very difficult combination. For his entire storied career, that's exactly who Lindsey Graham was. He was the first person to make you laugh, and one of the last people that you've really ever wanted to fight. These were the traits that made him into one of the great figures in Senate history. Few like him. As a boy, Lindsey also learned his first lessons in diplomacy when the wife of one regular patron called the bar asking for her husband. She demanded to know, where is he? The man instructed Lindsey, tell her I'm not here. And young Lindsey nodded and said into the phone to the wife, he said to tell you that he's not here. That was Lindsey. When Lindsey was just 20 years old, he lost his mom to cancer. 15 months later, he lost his dad. Their deaths left his 13-year-old sister, Darlene, an orphan. But in God's mercy, she had her wonderful brother to take care of her. On top of it all, Lindsey became her guardian while still in college and helped raise her. He later said that for all his achievements, and he had many, his single proudest accomplishment in life was how well Darlene turned out. He had total respect and love for Darlene. Nothing could be more fitting than that woman who was Lindsey's proudest legacy now continues his legacy of service in the U.S. Senate, a place that he cherished. And I have no doubt that he's looking down today, beaming with pride at his sister, Senator Darlene Graham. Thank you, Senator.